Presto, Cherry's Jubilee.
People have been calling The Holdovers a cozy movie. Does that square with you?
Squares with me. I don't think it squares with Alexander. I think Alexander, for some reason, takes exception to it being called cozy. And I think he's just being a bit of a curmudgeon. I think he knows exactly what people are talking about, and I think he likes it.
I got to tell you, I'm always a little surprised to hear this. Oh, it's like a cozy movie or a warm hug or putting on a sweater on a cold day and drinking hot cocoa. And part of that kind of nauseates me.
It's not an accident that the 2023 film The Holdovers ended up being one of the year's most beloved films. From its wood-paneled 70s aesthetic to the sleepy Massachusetts towns it was shot in, the movie was expertly crafted. So why does director Alexander Payne bristle at it being labeled a cozy film, when he and writing partner David Hemingson seemingly designed it that way from the very start?
There's so much found in the silences, in the things that go unsaid.
This man, judiciously and wisely, was constantly about, he refers to something called emotional brake fluid, where like, what is stopping and starting the character? And what I discovered was, my youngest son he studies in animation right now, and he loves Miyazaki, you know? And Miyazaki has this concept of this idea of which is like silence. And when I was talking to my 20-year-old son, and he was watching Miyazaki, I'm like, I want to use that technique.
In a conversation with Miyazaki, famous film critic Roger Ebert brought up this concept, saying, instead of every movement being dictated by the story, sometimes people will just sit for a moment, or they will sigh, or they will look at a running stream. Not to advance the story, but only to give the sense of time and place and who they are. We have a word for that in Japanese. It's called emptiness. It's there intentionally. So what does have to do with being cozy? Well, I'd argue that a big part of being cozy, outside of the physical nature of it, is the state that it puts your mind in. When you're cozy, you're put at ease. You're allowed to take a breath from the go-go nature of our daily lives. Which brings us back to which is essentially a film slowing down for a breath. By allowing the film to breathe, you're allowing your audience to breathe, putting us into a relaxed, reflective state often associated with being cozy.
Why'd you put in all that paprika? Follow the recipe. Now you have to add in a third cup of water. What's wrong?
But where they drop her off at her sister's house in Boston, and she gets out of the car, slams the door, and then the boy comes down and says, bye, and she says, where are you going? You got to help me up those stairs. That scene has no narrative.
I actually thought it was great, though.
Utility.
I noticed that.
But it's just lovely.
Yeah.
I don't know. Why is it lovely? I don't know. But I want to look at it.
So why is it when one film slows down, it feels cozy, and yet in another film it feels like impending doom? There's two major things at play here: the film's overall tone and its score. A film's tone is made up of the subject matter, characters, pacing, cinematography, and perhaps most importantly, the score. The score to any film is its emotional North Star. It gives the audience some insight into how they should feel about what's on screen. With it, a shot of people driving can feel relaxed, reflective. Without it, we begin to feel anxious, uncertain of what's around the next corner. So knowing now what we know about the Holdovers' design and conception, why does Alexander Payne have such a stick up his ass about his film being labeled cozy?
And I think he's just being a bit of a curmudgeon. I think he knows exactly what people are talking about, and I think he likes it.